In 2010, the Scottish Government funded a unique online diary project set up and hosted by the Scotland's Disabled Children Liaison Project and Coalition. The aim of the diary project was to find out firsthand from parents and young disabled people like me what life is really like. 16 people have taken part, blogging about their concerns, joys and hopes for the future. Their diaries help set the scene for change. Change that will improve the lives of all our children. Some of them have agreed to talk to me about their experiences. I'm now on my way to meet Claire, one of our Diary Project bloggers. In 2006, Claire gave birth to twins, Katie and Holly. They were born 12 weeks early and started life in intensive care. Today the girls are lively, energetic 5-year-olds, but Katie has cerebral palsy, bulbar palsy, and has developed other complex conditions. She and her family need extra support if they are to lead full lives.
We needed adaptations for Katie, to manage Katie within the home, and because we had our own home was bought, the council wouldn't adapt it for us. So the only kind of solution or only kind of way we could make Katie have a better quality of life was to give up our own home and move into a council house.
Inside, the adaptations are working well, but outside it's a different story. The twins are just back from nursery.
Now, since we've moved into the house, we've been told that nothing can be done with regarding the steps, so we currently had an adult stair climber provided 4 months after we moved in, which is not suitable for Katie, and now I've been told not to use it.
Claire's husband is strong enough to bump Katie up in her heavy chair, but Claire isn't.
I have been taking Katie and Holly up and down the grass in a sledge to get in and out the house.
What motivated you to take part in the Diary Project?
My first gut instinct was I wanted to reach other kind of parent carers. I wanted them to know they weren't alone, and I wanted them to know that there's other parents out there and we're all going through the same difficulties and experiencing the same feelings, and there's nothing worse than feeling alone or feeling lonely.
Like Claire, I like to know people are listening. But more than that, the people who are listening share many of my experiences, and together I believe we can make a difference. We've come to meet another blogger, Karen, who helped set up the Sal Holyrood Fencing Club. Karen was keen to take up fencing, but found existing clubs were reluctant to take on a wheelchair user. So she started one herself.
1, 2, good. Ready?
Karen has found that the Diary Project has helped her cope when things aren't going so well.
When I first started blogging, I was going through quite a difficult time. I was being reassessed for a lot of my benefits, and I was finding it quite a stressful experience, just kind of going through and almost my disability being a negative. Everything about my disability was a negative, and how I cope with it was, to be positive and to be busy and to almost see pride in my disability. And I felt that mentally I was kind of going back the way. So being able to write down kind of how I was feeling, both kind of good and bad points, was kind of a starting point for me to deal with kind of emotionally what I was going through.
Is there one thing in particular that the government could do to help you?
Rather than saying mainstream sport is very important, obviously for 2014, 2012, but don't forget about disabled people and don't kind of think that we should have to fight for everything. We've got barriers in our own life. Try and make them sort of less apparent when it comes to sport, because that's where everyone's meant to be included.
My next blogger works inside this beautiful church. Magali's daughter Gail has severe eczema. She has to wear bandages over 90% of her body and has special creams applied 3 times a day. Magali, what motivated you to take part in the Diary Project?
I've realised over the years that eczema is quite misunderstood. In fact, unless you have a child with severe eczema yourself, or you have eczema yourself, you can't really understand the impact of the condition in family life. And to me, it was a way to spread the word using the blog telling people what it's really like, and even clinicians don't really appreciate what it does to a family on a daily basis.
How does it feel to be writing about your life?
The good thing is that when you're writing about your life, you think about your experiences and the services you're using a bit more thoroughly. So in a way, it's this reflection on your life. It tells you a lot about yourself as well. It's a bit like a therapy.
Has using new media such as blogging to sort of voice concerns and share stories, has that been a positive experience for you?
It's been really good because it was so flexible and user-friendly. You can go online and do your blog anytime you want. You don't have to think of arranging appointments and booking childcare to do it, so that was excellent.
Like all the other bloggers, I hope the policymakers are reading and listening.
My message to the government is that actually our lives are actually being worse. There's more cuts happening, the funding's being stopped. Families like mine are having to give up their houses, we're not getting adaptations. I want the government to know that they're not listening.
I would like to see in the next few years the government supporting the third sector in a way of partnership working with the NHS, schools for example, referrals, and also better sustained funding for charities.
One of the things I would find really helpful would be a scheme for people with disabilities who have just come out of education and are about to go into the workplace, because education is a secure environment and the workplace isn't. So I for one would find that really helpful.